What's going on, guys? This is Slime Boss here. Welcome to a quick little predictions video of the recently announced Nintendo Direct. This one's a little bit weird because it was announced in the morning. We all had to work during the day, and this is the only time we can do it. And usually they announce it like a day ahead, but it's happening in the morning. Well, they did, but it's in the morning.
Exactly a day ahead.
Luckily, I think what's good about it is I'm actually going to be able to react to this one because I don't work until the middle of the morning, so I'll actually be able to react to this one. But we're of course doing our traditional predictions. We usually at least try to get some form of predictions out, regardless, but it's not always like this. But I'm happy we're back.
Right.
No, okay, I guess you're Matt today. There we go. I fixed it. Okay. This is the first actual video recorded after we've been on our trip, so I'm a little messed up. So, anyways,
you're all good.
So we're gonna do this kind of structured. Let's talk about what we already know. And I want to kind of make this quick, so if you guys watch at home, you guys will be able to have some sort of quick video to watch, maybe right before the direct. And then, of course, I'll probably release a short of each of our predictions, if you want to do that, so it's pretty quick. So if you want to record afterwards, just like a quick 60-second thing off of your phone,
sounds good.
then we can release that as a short too. I did that with the Pokemon Presents, so if you need like a template, look at that video.
Okay.
But anyways, so let's talk about what we know. So I think the most obvious thing here is P3 Remake and PST, or Persona 3 Tactics. Do you think that these guys will show up here? I think they will.
Tactics, no. They already dropped the trailer on Nintendo's channel. Persona 3, absolutely. It's kind of been Atlus's worst kept secret for the past couple weeks. I do think that's coming.
The only reason why I believe that it's coming is because they did that literally last year, where they announced it in the Xbox, for some reason was missing in the Sony one, and then showed up at Nintendo's partner showcase. Again, I'm still kind of baffled it wasn't at PlayStation's thing.
I agree.
So, I don't know, maybe we'll see both, one or the other. Either way, some sort of Persona is going to be here. But do you think that we'll see Metaphor? Do you think Metaphor is coming to Switch? So that is an Xbox exclusive.
It is. I think it's coming to Xbox, PlayStation, and PC once they announce the post-embargoed Xbox platforms. But it is not coming to Switch, and I do not believe it's coming to Switch.
Okay, I think maybe at that point we might be on next-gen hardware, but I think it'll come to Nintendo eventually, but usually when they do first-party stuff by Atlus or Sega, it'll come later. But obviously that means it's not coming to Switch. It'll be on next-gen by the time that it would be ready for it. Next up, we know about Splatoon 3 DLC. Do you think that show up here or maybe saved for September Direct? Some people think that it's delayed to 2024, early 2024. So
it's possible. I do believe that we will be seeing it tomorrow. There was an article a few days ago that was saying it was going to have new and unique gameplay, and I think we're going to see a trailer, if not a release date. And I admit this is something I could see shadow dropped right after the Direct. I don't think it will be. I think they'll save it for a few months down the road, but I do think it's possible.
I mean, that could be the case, but that will still leave... if all of the things that are announced here are all released before the end of the year, and Nintendo still has zero first-party stuff in the latter half of the year, that would be really hilarious.
They will. I think they're gonna have a lot of announcements. I do think this is gonna be probably one of the final big directs of the Switch generation. I do think this has quite a few announcements for the year.
Yeah, no, I still believe that it's wrong, but it's still so funny to me that everything was crammed before Tears of the Kingdom, except for Pikmin.
Yeah, no, legit.
Other than everybody, but it's literally happening within the same month, so...
Yeah, it's literally out in 10 days.
Speaking of everybody, I forgot to talk about my opinion on Splatoon. It'll be here. We'll get a short trailer like we always do. I think it'll probably have a late summer release, probably closer to the end of August. I think that's probably a good time. I think they want Pikmin 4 to get out and have enough breathing room, because I think Zelda and Xenoblade will do well enough to be released together. Pikmin needs that breathing room. Zelda doesn't need it.
No, screw it. I'm going to be bold. Splatoon 3 Side Order is launching tomorrow after the Direct.
Okay.
I'm just going to throw it out there because I'm Pikmin doesn't come out for a month. Zelda's been out for a month. The only thing they're shooting in the foot is Everybody 1-2 Switch. And
which
that game's existence
they
is shooting
want
itself
to
in the
shoot.
foot.
They want to shoot itself in the foot. I just
So
think that Pikmin is the one thing that really deserves the breathing room, and a big DLC with a franchise that they know is successful right next to Pikmin may not be a good idea. But that's
I mean,
just me.
Pikmin's still a month out, so I get what you mean, but I do think there's still plenty of breathing room for people to play through it.
All right. All right.
One
So,
more thing about
oh yeah.
Splatoon I want to throw in. I think we're gonna see the announcement of the new like Big Man, Fry, and Shiver. I think we're getting amiibo for them getting announced tomorrow.
Oh yeah. I guess I didn't really
I
think
think
of
that's
that.
just like a tiny little thing. I'm like, I think it could
Do
happen.
you think we're gonna get DLC amiibo like the Octo expansion amiibo?
If we do, it won't be until a little bit after the DLCs come out. As of now, I don't think so. But it
All
really
right.
just depends on what the DLC includes.
I think it'll definitely be because Splatoon 3's campaign was kind of like a better version of Octo expansion, and so I think
Yeah,
that this will be a drastic change in the same way
agreed.
uh, eight or Octo expansion was to two's base game. So we'll
Yeah,
we'll definitely have something new to play, not just more Splatoon 3, which I think will be great. As of for
absolutely.
what we actually see, do you think we see Pearl and Marina in the flesh or what?
Yeah, I
Okay,
do.
all right,
I really think this is gonna be about them more than anyone else.
all right. So actually, speaking about 1-2 Switch, will it be here or is that trailer that dropped today kind of it
I don't think it's gonna be in the direct. I
at
mean,
all?
it might be like, it really could be like one of those little side like
Highlight reel.
30-second little highlight reel.
Okay.
I think it could be in there, but I really think they're trying to sweep this game under the rug as much as possible, and I really think they don't see this as a game per se, as more as like a casual experience. So I mean,
Honestly, so, as much as you say that, I don't know if you actually watched the trailer, but they spent a lot of money on that trailer. There's no way they didn't. They had to rent
I
the
know
the
that's
the reven what is it? The venue, not the revenue, the
yeah,
venue, and then have all of those people be not only paid to play that game, which didn't
yeah.
seem like it was not unfun. It just might not be a lasting thing. I don't think. I think it will be fun, but I don't think it will be something that lasts forever. But they, I mean, granted, they didn't have very many big names. They had Kick the PJ, which is only known because he did collabs with PewDiePie. So
Mhm.
that's literally the only reason why he would be known. But everybody else is just like I'd never seen any of these people, and who knows who was that in that sea of people in the background. So they spent
My
a lot of money
opinion,
on selling you on this game,
and
which
that's my thing. My opinion is if they wanted to hype that game up, we would have either seen this in the direct or it would have come out after the direct.
okay.
Given it released less than 24 hours before the direct, just screams to me that they wanted to get this out before the big stuff. They
All
either
right.
wanted this to be drowned out or they wanted some focus on this before everything else starts showing up.
All right.
I wouldn't be surprised if it shows up, but I don't think it's going to be
Make
anything
a
more than like a
highlight.
15, 20
Yeah.
second reminder. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, like I said, I think it's the same. Yeah, I think the same way. Just a reminder. Next up, I have a couple of questions for you.
Go
Uh,
for it.
they're not really predictions, but again, they exist and they're happening. Is the Engage DLC done? I didn't follow.
Yes.
Okay, so
It
they're not
wrapped
going to
up
be here at
in
all. Okay,
April, I believe. Yeah, everything's done.
so nothing regarding Engaged here. I think sometimes they do a post DLC reminder,
No.
but I don't
It's
think
been
they'll
out
be
for a
here.
couple
Okay,
months. The Fell Xenolog, whatever it's called, was already out.
okay,
It's been done for a
did
little bit
not
now.
did not know that. Do you think we see FNAF here, the DLC,
For what?
for Security Breach?
Oh god, I have no idea.
Because
I didn't even
they
know that game was
a
out.
lot of directs highlight FNAF, so they have a few
It's definitely
announcements.
possible.
They have a few announcements. They still have Help Wanted 2, which was teased at the PlayStation showcase, but I think they want to release the VR version first before they release the 2D one.
Yeah.
But I think that they might show up in the highlight reel, but I thought I'd ask.
I don't even think it'll be in. I don't think it'll even be in like the highlight reel. I think it could be in that sizzle reel that usually that shows up towards the end of the direct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have, do you think that they will, because this is the first time that we're hearing from Nintendo since the closure of the eShops. Now, I don't think that they're going to talk about it directly, but do you think that we will see anything regarding it? Maybe a couple of exclusive eShop items, Maybe, I mean, maybe a port. I'm predicting a port, but maybe something regarding it that's not really directly telling us that, hey, the shop is closed.
If we do, I think it'll be something like a Pushmo collection or something like that.
Okay.
Otherwise, I really don't see them mentioning it. I kind of think they want to just ignore that completely, just kind of sweep it under the rug. Like it happened, we're sorry, but we don't want to throw any more like fanfare over it or just
I
to make people angry.
I had this idea that I don't know if you remember a few years ago, people thought there was a leak of 3D World on the Switch, but it was actually a glitch that enabled you to see your Wii U wish list items.
I do remember that.
But I was connecting that back to the 2017, or I think it was 2017, the little graphic that they made about Nintendo Online and how that it would continue on to the next console. So more than likely
Yeah.
we'll have our NSO virtual console replacement going into the next console. But that was beside the point. I didn't know if maybe we might just have them combine the servers and just say, hey, all the Wii U games are here. I don't know. That was like a long shot, but it was a thought that I had that I thought I'd mention.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening. I think they're just given the Wii U was such a failure, I don't think they really care enough to put that kind of effort into
Well,
it.
yeah, we don't want to see meme run on the Switch or anything, but there's so many losses that Nintendo has, and I think that especially post the PlayStation Vita 3 and slash 3 debacle that happened, and you know everyone making videos and stuff, Nintendo had to have heard something. Nintendo had to have heard something, not just to say completely shove it under the rug and never talk about it again. I think they'll have to give us something.
I mean, I think the honest truth is, I think the 3DS is the one that's getting screwed here because the Wii U, the biggest like Wii U exclusives, have either already come to the Switch, or they're very
No, I'm
likely
talking
going.
about Wii U eShop exclusive items, not
I don't think they.
physical.
Yeah, okay, then no, I don't think they care. They really don't. It's the publishers that made like the indie games and stuff like that that are getting screwed over. The ones Nintendo dropped themselves. I
Like,
think they would have already been pushed over to Switch already
I
before it
honestly
got.
don't see DS ever coming to Virtual Console ever again. It's
It's not
impossible.
more than likely. Never say impossible, but it's definitely very unlikely.
Unless the next Switch has like an extra peripheral where you can add a second screen, which isn't, unlikely from Nintendo, but
Yeah.
that sounds like the Wii phone type of predictions.
I
So.
mean, I don't think they really have much of a desire to put in the kind of effort, and especially for a system that sold so poorly and for stuff that really not a lot of people know or care about. It's very easy for them to ignore it.
All right, final question for you because I think we want to kind of push it along here. Anything regarding NSO, not NSO updates, or not NSO, not game, not the pre-established NSO. So, I mean, anything new regarding NSO, like a new console, like I don't know, TurboGrafx 16, or like a
No.
new feature, something like that.
No, we're done. I really think that we're NSO is for the Switch is done. Like they'll introduce maybe like a GameCube next generation as like a big hype factor, but right now I think the priority is just getting the rest of the N64, Game Boy Advance games and stuff like that, and that they'll call it
Not necessarily a new console, but like a new feature, new thing, like
They're not going to add
bringing
value.
back the game vouchers, things like
The game
that.
vouchers are still here,
No,
but
I
I know what you
know,
mean.
but like something small like that. So not even a mention of NSO minus new games if we get that.
No. They usually only mention NSO if they're expanding the platforms in a direct, or they have like a big new game for a certain system. And I
Okay.
mean, that's definitely possible. I could see something like Super Mario RPG coming to NSO, couple other big games, but other than that, I really don't think NSO is going to be a priority here.
All right, and then all right, so that's all my questions. So next up is how much of Pikmin 4 do you think we're gonna see here? Is this a major topic kind of deal where it's like, all right, here's your headlines, and then hey, Pikmin 4 is coming. Here's a huge section on it.
So I think it's not going to open or close to direct. I think it'll be somewhere in the middle, and I think we get 3 to 6 to 7 minutes on it.
So
Like
it's a
good
it's a
chunk of the
middle.
direct.
So it's not a
Yeah.
tease, but it's a focus for sure.
I think we're gonna see a good bit of gameplay, we're gonna get a good bit of explanation. I don't think it's going to be longer than like 5 minutes. I could be wrong, but I really think it's going to be like we've had a few good announcements. Let's slow it down. Let's talk about something that's coming out in a few weeks, something exciting. And it's just 5 minutes of that, and they move it along.
No, I'm recording. I know. Yeah. Sorry.
You're all good.
Sorry, we keep getting distracted. Okay, keep going.
No, you're all good.
Do you think we'll see
Pikmin-
anything big regarding it, like, or did we see pretty much the major points?
I mean, we saw a download voucher last night that showed like a picture of the main character in Owachi in the house, so we know the house is going to be a stage. I think the biggest thing we're going to get, I don't think we're going to get another Pikmin type.
House.
I don't think we're going to get another Pikmin type. I would love it, but I kind of think we're just going to get ice and that's going to call it.
I think there was
But we
only
could.
1 and 3, right? That was just rock.
There was flying in Rock in 3.
Oh. We might get another
Yeah.
one that's like not really shown in promotional material.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so.
Maybe like a secret
But
one, but
I think the big announcement of this section is going to be possibly like an Owachi amiibo, or what I think is a lot more likely, I think we're going to get a demo.
I think you have a lot of hopes for Amiibo here because
I
there's
want Owachi.
there's another Amiibo that we're gonna talk about later too, and it's
Yeah.
just like I don't know if we're gonna be getting all of these Amiibo.
Look. I think this is like the amiibo's last hurrah. Like, I really don't think we're getting a Pikmin amiibo, but I want to be optimistic.
I don't think we have one
Splatoon-
yet, do we? Other than the Smash series. Oh, I don't. Is that from Hey Pikmin?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I didn't remember that. So
But yeah, I don't think we're getting another Pikmin amiibo. I think
at least it has one.
Splatoon. I think Splatoon is the most likely, and then we'll talk about another series that probably will get a couple later on, I'm sure.
And I don't know anything about Pikmin. My prediction is it'll be here because it's coming out in a few weeks, and there's still maybe a couple
Literally
of
in the announcement.
Yeah,
So it's gonna be here.
Yeah, it's gonna be here. I don't know what else to say about it. I'm not a Pikmin fan, so
You're all good.
it's your time to shine there. All right, so
Yes.
next we have, of course, some DLCs. The first is another DLC, I guess. Mario Kart. It's coming. It's gonna be here.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a normal tease because it's probably not gonna come out till July. But it'll be like they'll show 2 tracks, maybe 1 or 2 of the characters. But it'll just be a tease, and then they'll have their full Twitter reveal later.
So I've got a very specific prediction for this.
Really?
I think we're gonna see the Piranha Plant track
Yes,
from
okay.
Tour with PD Piranha being announced, and either a DK track or something, maybe Athens with 1 more character, and then they're gonna be nice and show us 1 retro track, and I think it's gonna be Koopa Cape, and that's it. That's all we get.
I think we'll see Piranha Plant Cove or whatever it's called. We'll see PD, but we'll
Yeah.
only see 1 new track because it's technically labeled as new, and 1 retro track. I don't think we'll see anything more than that.
I'm a little optimistic. We'll see what happens. You're probably.
I mean, we
more
could
right
get the
than I
full
am.
reveal, but I think that Nintendo has a
They've
system.
never done that. They've never done that for
The
a
first
direct
time,
before,
the
so-
first time it was a full reveal.
Well, yeah, that is true,
Yeah,
but
so-
every wave sense.
Yeah, no, that's why I said I know we're gonna get only a tease because they'll have their full reveal later, and that keeps people excited because they have the
I do-
trailer like within days of the release.
I think for the first time though, we are going to get an exact release date for the wave, but where they're not going to tell us when the
The trailer?
the full trailer is going to come out. We can guess just based on when it usually drops, but they're not going to tell us when.
Do you think that this DLC train has gone on for too long? Do you think people's interests are lost? I mean, it's Mario Kart, but do you think
The last two waves have been so strong. I think this wave, just based on what we think we're getting, I think this is going to be like the low point since like wave 2.
do you think
But I
that the
do think
character reveals are what's keeping people's interest?
not necessarily. I mean, for this one, I do think it's going to be the main point. Because I mean, we're at the point where 3 or 4 of the tracks are apparently from tour. Like 1 or 2 of them are going to be new, but they're still mostly like city tracks and stuff like that. It just depends on what retros we get. And I mean, right now we know of 3 Double Dash tracks still coming. Right
Do
now
we have
it's
any yet?
we got Waluigi Stadium
Oh
last
yeah,
wave.
that's right.
But I mean, right now, unless they swap around again, we're just gonna get 1 in wave 5 and 2 in wave 6. And I mean, I think people are really banking on Daisy Cruiser being the hype one, but I think Mushroom Bridge is gonna be the one we get in wave 5, and I think that's gonna be a little underwhelming. I think wave 6 is gonna be like the big epic finale, but I think this is gonna be like the first wave in a while where people are just like, oh, okay, this is fine. It's good, more Mario Kart content, but it's nothing incredible, you know?
I love Matt's joke about Mushroom Bridge and what's the other one? The other highway
Mushroom
track.
City.
Yeah, Mushroom City is like the difference between Mushroom Bridge and Mushroom City is night and day. Literally.
That's good.
But no, I don't. I think the reason why I asked is because I'm feeling that way. I honestly forgot we were getting DLC. I had to remember that it was still happening. Because I don't know, maybe Smash felt more frequent, or just Smash was more hype. I don't, and we got less content. Think about it, we got less content per DLC pack.
To be fair, a Smash Bros. Character is a lot bigger than a Mario Kart track.
Bigger in popularity, but in terms of hype, like I forgot Mario Kart was happening. So,
yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. Like Smash Bros. Was exciting. Smash Bros. Was an event. Mario Kart is too, to some extent. But you've got to want to constantly play Mario Kart. At least myself, I only have like 130 hours in Mario Kart 8 since launch, like 5, 6, 7 years ago. It's a great game, but I don't hop on to play Mario Kart outside of like the week or 2 after the new waves drop. Like I don't frequent it unless I have friends over.
I want to frequent it more. I just don't like 8s. It's not like my favorite game, and if DS was the newest one, I would play that shit every day if I could, Right. I obviously have too much of a backlog nowadays, but I want a new Mario Kart that brings me back every weekend or once a week. But
you'll get that.
I can't.
I just, a year or two.
I just didn't like 8 back in the Wii U days, and I think it's a lot better now than it was back then because of the new courses. But I'm not saying that 8 is bad. I'm just saying it just, maybe I fell off of Mario Kart at that point. I don't know. Right. But it took up most of my time, that and Bowser's Inside Story, so as a kid. And then the last question, I guess, I don't think we'll get it announced here, but do you think that the 5 slots that are shown, was that done for symmetry's sake, or was that done because we are literally getting 5?
We're literally getting 5.
Okay. Because in the previously... they added that extra row underneath, I believe, back on Wii U, and I think they shuffled it around since then. But they had that extra row, and they had like the little price tag things going straight across. Now they're just question marks. So I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe we'll get just one character per wave, and that question mark's just filling in for symmetry's sake, or maybe we'll get more and we'll get an additional row. Who knows?
I think people are way too optimistic with that. I think they want to save the bigger characters for the next Mario Kart game.
Fair enough. But I'm just saying, like, maybe we only end up getting one per wave, and those question marks are just there to either mess with us or. Anyway.
We'll get the full column of 6. It's just not going to be any more than that.
So what do you think about like the actual, not the tracks because that'll take too long, but the characters? I think we're getting PD. What's the other one?
I think we're getting PD and either Kamek or Diddy Kong.
I think it'll be Pauline this time.
I was just about to say Pauline. I want it to be Pauline, but I really don't think we're going to get Diddy and Funky in the same wave.
I think
it's possible.
I think it's going to be PD and Pauline, and the next one is just going to be all Kongs. That's
I
just
don't
my
think so.
thoughts, but
But we'll see. Let's move on from Mario Kart. This is becoming a Mario Kart
I know
discussion for a piece
we
of
have
DLC that's going to have 30 seconds in the
I
direct.
know we have plenty of that. But you can go ahead and take the next 20 minutes on Rabbids DLC.
It's not going to be here.
Okay. So it's just not even a hint. Nothing.
It'll be 30 seconds of the last Spark Hunter DLC with a release date. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be a highlight. It's not going to be.
They're not going to show the Rayman that Rayman's coming still.
Rayman's not coming for another few months.
I know that, but they're not just going to re-release the trailer that Ubisoft did because they've done that in the past.
No, maybe at the end of
because they re-released the Wiggler trailer the last time.
No. Yeah, there's no reason to. I don't think there's a lot of hype for the Rabbids DLC, to be real with you.
Well, Ubisoft thinks it sold poorly anyway, so.
Well, Ubisoft always has really bad expectations.
Well, on top of that, they're just like, I think Nintendo told them to not release it.
Well, they told them to make one game per console, and they're like, well, how about we make more money now? And then they launch it like the same day as Persona 5, a couple weeks, like about a month before Pokemon. I think it was like a week before Bayonetta 3.
I don't know why they would say
one
release per console. Says the people that released 2 Zeldas, 2 mainline Zeldas. 1.
Okay, to be
two,
fair, though,
didn't release a new Mario Kart this generation. 3, hasn't released a new Soup yet. Technically. And
to be fair, there's only one Zelda game exclusive to the Switch. But I see what you mean.
Yeah, but they did the same thing. Everyone considers what's it called? Breath of the Wild to be a Switch game in the same way they consider Twilight Princess to be GameCube. So I don't believe. I will fight you on that. As much as I hate Twilight Princess, but anyway.
So you're saying we should consider Breath of the Wild to be a Wii U game, right?
No.
Then why aren't we considering Twilight
Because
Princess
Skyward Sword is a Wii game. Come on. That's the Wii game.
Tears of the Kingdom is the Switch game.
Tears of the Kingdom is also going to be the Switch 2 game. Don't forget that.
We don't know that. We don't know
yet. Nintendo in that comment, Nintendo also teased that they're getting 4K patches. So.
All right, let's move on from this. We're not getting hardware in the direct, so we're not going to talk about it.
Superstars, Sonic Superstars will be here as well.
Highlight
sizzle reel. Okay.
We're not going to get any new info on it.
All right, that's the important stuff that we already know about, other than Metroid Prime 4, which some people believe we might actually see here. I think we're going to get a tease of that at the very end, just like, still happening, guys.
So we'll talk about my actual expectations for this later, but I think we get 2 games to finish off the direct. One pretty good size one. One's going to get a lot of people excited, and then Prime 4 is going to be like the actual ending.
Okay.
I'm actually pretty confident we're seeing Metroid tomorrow.
All right, we're done with what we know. So let's talk structure. I believe we're going to get a banger to start, which I know exactly what it is. Banger to end, and then a one more thing teaser at the end. And then 2 major focuses. One is Pikmin 4, because we already talked about it. And 2... Well, there's 2. I just wanted to say that there's 2.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a new game in the beginning, 2 new games at the end, 1 or 2 smaller titles, like remasters and stuff like that in the middle, and then Pikmin 4 is somewhere in between that.
I was just talking about mostly the focuses, where Koizumi or whoever comes on screen and says, hey, here's a 5-minute section for this game.
I think Pikmin 4 is the only game we're getting a 5-minute section. I think there'll be like 3 or 4 like completely full, like Yoshiaki Koizumi or Shinya Takahashi, whoever's hosting tomorrow's direct, is like, how is it so far? Please take a look at this.
Or it'll end like the first part will end with everybody wants you Switch and he's playing on his phone.
I could actually see that though. That would be something I could see Nintendo doing.
Because they do that like when they are about to do NSO, he like pulls out the Game Boy or whatever. Anyway, so let's talk. What is that first thing that we're gonna see as soon as the direct opens? Are you ready? Let's drum roll. I think we both know what it is. 2D Mario. Okay, there we go. We've heard about this in rumors for years now. On top of that, I believe there was a hiring for 2D development right after Mario Maker was released, sometime in 2019.
Basically, somewhere around there. Yeah.
And obviously, some people were saying it's a new Donkey Kong, some people were saying it's a new 2D Mario. But after the leaks and rumors that have been coming out this week, I think we can confidently say that it's 2D Mario.
Oh, 100. This is the game I'm willing to bet money on.
Yeah, I think that this is the only game other than what we know about will 100% be here. And now, what form does that take is the question. I think that we're getting a new soup. Well, okay. I don't think we're getting a new soup. New soup is done. But I think we're getting a movie game. Not necessarily directly inspired off of it, but we're getting the art style of the movie. And it's going to be marketed as to be related to the movie. Now, do I want that? No. Do I think that's going to happen? Yes, because they want to tie in marketing. But what I want to happen, and this is the complete wild card, is that 2D Miyamoto style, like, not necessarily like, what's it called, stop motion, but like kind of a creatively looking 2D game that's almost cartoony in nature.
I think it's going to be a lot more colorful, a lot more stylized. There is that part of me that in the back of my head's like, yeah, the movie idea makes sense.
Knowing Nintendo, I think more realistically we are getting a new soup. Just knowing Nintendo because they're freaking stupid.
We haven't gotten a new Super game in 10 years. I really
don't
think that's the case.
This is the first actual 2D game in 12 years.
11. We got one in 2012. We got two in 2012.
Two in 2012. So, yeah, I'll 10, 11
so
years.
November will be 11 years, yeah.
And I as much as I would like New Soup to be dead, and I'm hoping that I'm right that New Soup is dead, but Nintendo could obviously pull its stupid and release another one. But do you
think they're that stupid anymore?
Even if it's not a New Soup, do you think we're still going through the motions again, like Grassland, Lava Land?
I think there'll be a few new world ideas, like maybe 2 or 3. But yeah, of course we're gonna get the grass, the basic water, the fire.
Do you think this game is going to be basic, just not with the New Soup brand?
No, I really don't.
You think this is finally a change of form?
We haven't gotten a 2D Mario game. I'm counting Mario Maker on this because it is in over 4 years. I really do think they took their time with it. I really think it's going to be polished. I think it's going to be unique. Because I mean, when you think about it, half the New Soup series was in 4 years.
Yeah.
So I really do think they actually went above and beyond with this one. I really do.
On top of that,
I could be wrong.
Everyone keeps gaslighting me like this didn't happen, but somebody had an interview where they were saying we're going to take some of the ideas that were given to us through Mario Maker and translate the level design into future Mario games. And do you think
I do believe that was something that happened?
I want that to be true because there's so many creative things that come out of Mario Maker, and if the Mario Maker series is truly dead after 2 based on sales, I want to start having good modern 2D Mario games again. That maybe can even
I think it's going to happen. I think the 2D Mario is not going to give us everything we wanted, but I do think we're going to look at it after the reveal tomorrow, and it's going to be like, wow, this is what we've been missing. This is fantastic. I really do think that's going to be the case. I really think it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. It's going to get the Mario fans excited.
It's going to boost our New Soup videos probably because it's going to make people want to replay old games.
Yeah.
All right.
But I do think it's happening. I think it's coming in November. I think it'll be their holiday title.
That's a kind of a light title for holiday, but that's just because it's 2D.
Not necessarily.
People are going to cry and complain because they did the same thing with fucking Metroid. You know what's going to happen.
I mean, there is a very possible chance that Prime 4 comes out around that time, too. I don't think it is, but you never know.
Yeah.
I do think there's something else in the holiday period, whether it be Zelda DLC, whether it be Pokemon DLC. The holiday is not going to be light.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that this will be online multiplayer?
Every part of me wants to say yes, but this is where I kind of think Nintendo might just be.
3D World works. 3D World's a lot better than Mario Maker. I can tell you that.
And I hope they do it, but
co-op is going to be there though. At least
this is where oh yeah, for sure. But this is where I could see Nintendo being Nintendo.
Fair. Now,
yeah.
Do you think that this is going to maybe not traditionally in terms of style or graphics or, world design, but do you think that we're going to get a little bit more than just the traditional 8 worlds, mid-castle,
Yeah.
Like structurally, we're gonna get a lot more that maybe is worth $60, quote unquote.
So here's my pitch. I don't want to spend too much time with this because I do want people to watch this in full before the direct airs. But I think it's going to be open, kind of like you was. But I think you're going to be able to go in different directions, and you're going to need to get like certain items from each like castle in each world. But you can choose which world to go in.
So it'll be our first open world 2D game.
Yeah. Like you can either start in the grass world, something easy, or if you really want to test your skill, go to the fire world, go to who knows, the new donk world. I don't think that's gonna happen, but you never know.
I had this idea as well, because obviously we'll still have the world structure and level structure, but there was a ROM hack that had the first truly open 2D Mario game, but it wasn't real, but it was the first one, and it was based on New Soup DS, and it was almost like a Metroidvania, whereas instead of going to the end to the flagpoles, you're just collecting stars in like a huge open Metroid type like world, which I'm not going to say that's going to happen,
cool. That's
but
not
I think
gonna happen.
I think some elements of that, like I think each individual level won't necessarily be point A, point B. I think we might see some more secret exits per level. I think it'll be more open in that way. In terms of like the actual levels will be more open as well. I think it'll be more like what's that game where it's still A to B, but there's multiple paths that you can take to get to the end. I can't remember what it was. But you see my point. I think that we both agree that it'll be a lot more open, though.
Yeah, but let's move on from that. We can talk about our reactions to it. Hopefully, 24 hours from now, watch Nintendo pull a fast one on us, and it's like Donkey Kong instead. But I really don't think so.
All right, I believe I've been leading this on because I wanted to talk about what we do know. Anything that I haven't talked about yet that you want to talk about now that we're in?
Do you want me to give a safe prediction or a spicy prediction?
Is spicy considered wild card, or spicy is still kind of grounded?
I think it's grounded.
I'll give you the spicy then.
So
spicy meatball.
We've talked about this before. Around April, May last year, we heard some rumors that Bandai Namco was working on an action 3D game for Nintendo. Mr. Sakurai, a little while back, kind of hinted a little bit about a certain project of his that should be remade with a little bit of a nudge that Sakurai is known for. I do think there is not a bad possibility. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but I have a good feeling in my gut that we are going to see a Kid Icarus Uprising remaster announced for the Switch, and that'll be one of our fall titles.
Yep. I am fully in agreement with this. I never played Kid Icarus, so I'm not going to say anything.
It is so good. You have to play it.
I think that we're going to get a full not necessarily from the ground up, but it's going to be a lot better than BDSP. I can tell you that. I think they have to rework controls, so that's going to be something. And then, what new content do you think we see?
Maybe a couple extra chapters, maybe an expanded version of the multiplayer. I do believe this is what Sakurai's been working on with Bandai, kind of in a supervisory role or something like that since Smash ended. But I don't think it's going to be a lot of content. I just think the visuals of it, because this could be a graphical showcase for the Switch. It really could be.
I'm not going to say too much on it, but I have it here in my predictions as well. But this was part of my prediction that this is the second focus. If there was a second focus. I'm really hoping. Assuming that there's two focuses, one would be Pikmin 4 and the other would be Kid Icarus Remastered. So, yeah. There's my 2 cents.
I'm going to throw something out that I don't think is going to happen because, you know me, I have to talk about it. We are not going to see Wind Waker Twilight Princess.
I knew it. I'm not. A part of me wanted to think that that's what you're going to talk about the first time, but... Yeah, they're not even on here, not even referenced.
We are going to get them announced in the February Direct.
Yeah.
Either February or September, but these games Tears of the Kingdom needs some time to breathe. I fully do believe that Zelda's going to get some DLC here. Mm-hmm. Now is not the time. They will come next year. But it's me. I had to.
Yeah. Assuming that this year is the final hurrah of the Switch, next year is going to be really light. I think that's perfect for Zelda.
I wouldn't even call next year light. It's just going to be very... ports, remasters heavy.
TPHD is not going to be light, but I think next year is definitely going to be 2016. So,
but I would say it's going to be better than 2016, but that's just because I think the remasters and stuff we get is going to be a lot more exciting. Yeah.
So we're not going to get a new game that's awful. We're just going to get a lot of light
I think we'll
things.
see this collection like next April, May, June, somewhere in there after Zelda's DLC is wrapped up. But since we're already talking about Zelda DLC, do you think it's going to be announced here?
Yes. I think
I
that
agree.
is the last thing that we see before the tease.
Okay.
I
Do you
mean,
think it's
Zelda's
going to
always at the
be.
butt of the direct, so.
So, my theory about this is, and I don't want to go too deeply into this, but we know from an interview with Aonuma that the game was basically content complete a year ago, around last March when they announced the delay. Of course, they did spend all that time debugging and stuff, but I firmly believe that there was a small set of people that were working on extra content for post release, which is why I think that it's not super bold to think that we could get a story expansion November, December this year, and that's just the DLC we get.
Yeah, I think it'll be a one wave thing. Originally, in my initial predictions, it was going to be 2 waves, but I think we'll have
Mhm.
1 wave, and they'll save that for holiday. We'll have our story expansion. I think we still need a Master Sword Trials. I think people like that. I think we'll have a
I think
multi-floor thing, but it'll be different. And then, other than that, it's probably going to be pretty similar to Champions Ballad, just in Tears of the Kingdom context.
I actually do think it's going to be 2 waves. I think one is solely going to be the Master Trials, though. We're going to get a Trial of the Sword kind of thing. We're going to get some more cosmetic items, so stuff like that. And then wave two will be the story focus. I think it's either going to be an epilogue or we're gonna actually get to play as Zelda in the past.
Yeah, hi. I
Hi.
fully want to believe that too. I want a past thing. I posed this question on our trip as well, whether or not it would be best to have this Zelda storyline to be a Age of Calamity, the Imprisoning War, or DLC. And my initial thought was DLC for this, for sure. But again, that would basically mean this expansion, the story expansion, would be more like Future Connected than, or not Future Connected, Future Redeemed or Torna, rather than the add-ons that they added for Breath of the Wild. So
But I do think it's gonna be one of the bigger holiday things. I think it makes so much sense. They've had time to develop it in the meantime with debugging and stuff like that, that I really think that it's not unrealistic to have this out, let's say early December, like the Champions Ballad was for Breath of the Wild.
all right. All right, so my next one that's a little bit grounded, but I think at this point it's too far gone. I just wanted to throw Sluggers in there again because Sluggers was in my predictions for the year. So just might as well.
I
Why
I
not?
feel weird about it because I'm like, I feel like it could happen. I feel like it
It
should
should have
happen, but
already. It should have happened already, I think.
I mean, it just depends on who's developing it. If it's Bandai, I think
It's
it should
probably
have
next
happened by
level.
now.
It's probably next level because that I feel like I really don't want to believe this, but I feel like Nintendo is just like, all right, you guys do the sports games. You and Camelot go over there, dance in a corner, do the sports games,
Yeah.
and then that part of me wants me to be like, I guess there's no more Luigi's Mansions,
No, I think it'd go to either Bandai or Camelot. I don't think Next Level would want to do
or
it.
Camelot. Yeah, that too. It
Yeah,
could have been that.
but I hate saying this because it's gonna rain on our parade a little bit. I don't know how you feel about this franchise, but I do think we're getting a Mario and Sonic at the whatever Olympics
I
this fall.
mean,
I do think that's happening.
predictable. I mean, I didn't put it
It is
on
very
here, but
predictable.
I don't really care for that series personally. So.
We got oh I don't either. We got rumors for it a few months ago. We got an Olympics coming up next year. I think
Yeah.
it just makes sense, and I'm not personally going to be hyped for it unless they bring back the Dream events.
Yeah.
And I don't think
It'll
they're
be
going
there,
to.
but if it's not,
Yeah,
then it's just like whatever.
it's whatever. I'm not going
Yeah.
to miss it.
But speaking of Wii U ports, do you think we get anything?
No, I mean, like I said, there's three that I think should happen. I think well, no, four. Xenoblade X. We just got Xenoblade 3 last year. I think it's too soon. The Zelda ports again next year, and then I think the only one that's feasibly left is Yoshi's Woolly World.
That's where I was going. I have that on
But
here.
I don't know. I
I
want it to happen,
I
but I don't
just
know.
I just put Yoshi's Woolly port or other Wii U game. I just predict that we'll see something Wii U related.
I'm hoping. I would love to see it come because I think the game is a good bit better than Crafted World. I liked Crafted World, but Woolly World to me is the best Yoshi's ever been.
So there's another rumor that we've been hearing about as well, and that is some
Yes.
form of SNES remake. In my predictions for the year, I put that I want to see Mario RPG, not Super Mario RPG, but some Mario RPG in some capacity. So for the hell of it, I put Mario RPG here, but to save my ass, I also put the Fire Emblem remake as well.
So I've been hearing 4 titles. I've heard Mario RPG. That one's got some backing to it. Chrono Trigger came out from one of them. I don't necessarily think that one's going to happen.
I think that's weird. I mean, I would love a Chrono Trigger remake, maybe in the HD 2D style, because I haven't played it yet. But I just think it's too weird right now, especially with like, how do you look at Square Enix's lineup right now and be like, Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7 remastered, and then Chrono Trigger remastered. It's just like, or I guess we also have Dragon Quest 18 and or Dragon Quest 18. No, what is it? Dragon Quest 8.
8, yeah.
Dragon Quest 7S, yeah, 8.
There's too many Dragon Quests.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, like you look at this all-star lineup, including remasters, and then you're like, Chrono Trigger, okay. Anyway, I just feel like Square. It's not the time.
I don't think
yet.
it's gonna happen.
I just feel like it's gonna come eventually, but not right now.
I think it's either gonna be Mario RPG, and I think that's the front runner for everybody right now, just because of the rumors that have been going around. I wouldn't totally discount Earthbound. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'm just imagining a Grezzo-made Earthbound remake in like a more refined style that Link's Awakening was in.
It's gonna make people want them to remake Mother 3, and that's gonna be such a challenge for them. And I don't want to put Grezzo on that. On what do you call it? Wokeifying Mother 3, so that seems like really difficult.
Yeah. The final game that is possible is Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War. I don't think this one's gonna happen purely because we got a Fire Emblem game 5 months ago.
It's a remake. It's not a big deal, but again, I think Mario.
September, then.
I guess, but I guess Mario RPG is a little bit more feasible because, I mean, Genealogy of the Holy War could be thrown on NSO. Mario RPG is seeming more and more likely like it's not going to get put up on NSO, and that's the one that desperately needs a remake. So
I'm gonna be I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna throw something completely obscure at the wall. I know it's not gonna happen, but if it does, I just want to go with it. So I do think it's gonna be Mario RPG.
Superstar remake.
No. My prediction is it's gonna be Yoshi's Island.
What the wait, a 2D Mario and Yoshi's Island?
They're different series. I don't think it's gonna happen.
It's two 2D Marios, whether you like it or not.
Could you imagine Good Feel, like just remaking Yoshi's Island? I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think just throw it at the wall. It sounds like fun. I don't think it's like I said, I don't think it's gonna happen, but I want to be different.
Yeah, you're definitely being different. I'm just struggling to imagine that.
Oh, I can't imagine it either.
I feel like 2D
it's an SNES classic.
2D platformers are ones that, if they're good, are ones that don't ever really need to be remade and can live on forever.
Yoshi's Island is timeless.
Yeah, like those types of games can just live on forever. But Star Fox or Link's Awakening or any of these other, or not Link's Awakening, Link to the Past, all these other games like could use a remake, and whether not necessarily right now, but or Earthbound, all these things. But 2D platformers can live on for like Mario World. I can play that forever. So I don't care how it looks.
I want it to be known that I do not care which SNES game gets remade. Yeah. Like Mario RPG would be cool.
I want it to be one that I care about so that I can play it, but
I don't really care. It's like whatever gets made as long as it's like I want it to be a Nintendo made one. Like no offense to Square. Like I know they made Mario RPG, but I'm like, give me a Nintendo made one. Give me Super Metroid. I don't think it's going to happen because we've already gotten Metroid this year. We're probably going to get Metroid next year. Super Metroid would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, we still don't know who's making it because they just said an SNES classic. That's very broad. The SNES was a large console. We want to think it's Nintendo related because assuming these guys are talking about Nintendo games. But I mean, like, it could literally be anything. They could pull something out of their ass and be like a small random title made by nobodies. So
Yeah. Anyways, I'm pretty confident that it is true, but we don't know if it's an obscure third-party game that people will care about or not, or if it's Nintendo. It was too vague. I don't care enough to keep going with it. I hope it's cool.
all right. So assuming that is pretty much does it for my predictions that are grounded. I do also have one more thing, which is a Kirby spinoff. Just a small little title.
I absolutely think that Kirby shows up in almost every damn direct. that's
well, he was absent for a few years, but
yeah, Kirby likes to show up when a console's in its like twilight years. So I do think he's showing up again.
Yeah, we'll have like, I don't know. Let's just throw something random out there.
I
Battle Royale 2. I don't care. Just throw something out there.
I don't care. Kirby Cooking Mama. I don't know.
Air
I
right.
I have one more prediction before we get into some wild stuff, just because this one's been rumored off and on for the past probably 7 or 8 months. Do you think we get an F-Zero GX like remaster? Because that's been floating around for a bit.
I just would rather a new one, because I don't know if a remake of GX would... I don't know. I really don't. I just don't know. I mean, everyone keeps shooting from the rooftops that we need F-Zero in our lives, but what form that takes, I don't know. They might start with a remake and then go into something new because Miyamoto wants to do something creative with it. Something wacky.
I think this could just be them testing the waters, seeing how F-Zero works with full like online multiplayer.
I just don't know how much people care about F-Zero, because when it came on to NSO, it just came and went, and nobody batted an eye.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be. If it does happen, I don't think it's gonna blow the sales charts on fire. But I do think it is possible to get future installments of the games once they see a lot of people actually playing it. But
I mean, maybe, but I don't. I think that next year, if we're getting so many ports, I think it would fit better there.
And that's what I'm thinking. Is like I could see it coming this year, but I'm also thinking, oh, it wouldn't be surprising if it showed up like January, February next year as something really small to start off the year.
I know that you said that we wouldn't get any NSO updates, but I think we'll have another like, hey, these games are coming eventually type of thing. Like with
my issue with that is we haven't gotten most of them from like last September's direct.
Oh, we didn't
N64.
No, not N64 for Game Boy.
They still have a bunch they haven't announced yet. Like released, it's possible, but I don't think
because Game Boy I think is done. I think the Fire Emblem one was the newest one, and no, not done. I mean, like Fire Emblem was not announced, not talked about. So
yeah, we still need we need Golden Sun. There's a couple other ones I believe that still have yet to drop from that initial direct.
Yeah, so I think
we have like 3 or 4.
Some console will be shown off here, but I don't think it'll be N64. But we'll get a future look at some, maybe Sega. I don't know. We'll get a future look at some slate for that. All right, wild card. Would you like to use yours, or would you like me to start?
Are we only doing one, or are we doing multiple?
I have 2.
Okay. I'm going to throw out a wild card that I don't think is going to happen.
I don't think any of these are going to happen, but
I think we're going to get a new Star Fox. And it's going to be developed by Platinum again.
Oof.
Yeah.
So soon after Bayo 3, though?
They have multiple teams.
Oof.
I mean, Star Fox is such like a smaller IP that I could see it sunsetting the Switch. My only thing about that is Miyamoto's been focused on Mario. Could he have 2 hands in each cookie jar while trying to manage a Mario movie, a theme park? Because you know that Star Fox is his baby. He has not fully let go of Star Fox.
Again, like I said, I think his attention is focused on movie and theme park right now. Somehow finding time for Pikmin 4 on the side. I think that's why it took so long, right? Because it was a side project for him. I think once we've got over that initial hype hump, once we're in the sequel territory, once we're in expansion territory, I think his eyes will start being focused on his smaller IP. I think we'll finally see the return of F-Zero, Star Fox, and all his other projects, because he'll be back on the game development side. So I think right now his main focus is Mario, his firstborn, and everybody else will come once he's done. Once he finally can
But
take a breather from real life. So
what's your first wild card?
okay, this one might be a little bit more realistic, but I think that we get some form of tease for Prime 4, whether that's that this is the last thing, the one more thing.
You think that's a wild card? I think that's like a 60-40 shot of happening.
I think that it. Well, now, I think it's a wild card because it is. Okay, here's a couple of things I want to say before I say what is actually going to be teased here. One, I think Metroid Prime 4 is coming as a launch title for the next system, but that might be a hot take. But
that is a hot take.
However, the reason why I think we're going to get a teaser in this one is because it is going to be releasing in November. That's why it's a wild card.
Okay, I did say it's very possible it comes out in the holiday earlier, so I'm liking where you're heading with this.
And I know we just got a Metroid remastered, but I think that is why they released it this year instead of last year, because it was a roadmap.
You're thinking we're gonna get a new system in November?
No.
You said
no. That's why it was a wild card.
Okay.
No,
I got you. I was very lost there for a second.
I think realistically that Metroid Prime 4 is a launch title for the next system, assuming it's coming out next year or early 2025. But yeah. I think that the wild card prediction here is that Metroid Prime gets teased at the end of this direct for a 2023 November release date. That's the wild card. So I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true, but it's wild. So
yeah, I mean I could see it. I really think they were holding on to the Prime remaster for when the game was like 12 to 18 months out. Mm-hmm. So it being a holiday title wouldn't shock me, but with all this like lead up to just the hype for this official announcement, I don't think they're gonna release it 5 months after finally showing it off. I would love to be wrong. Yeah. I would love to be wrong. But I think that is bold.
I think what's going to happen, I think what happened was, obviously we know the September Direct last year was a mess. There was a lot of things that should have been announced and things that did show up eventually, but happened like way too late. And so I think that Prime Remastered was meant to release in November of last year, or, whatever. And that Prime 4 was meant to be either a holiday title or a summer title or something like that. Somewhere in the process, they're like, all right, let's give a little bit more time. And so they got that little bit more time. Prime Remastered released the day the Direct came out, which was also very bold. And now we're gonna get a tease. It's gonna look like Prime Remastered, same engine, but we're not gonna see any gameplay or anything. We'll probably see Samus and Ridley or something, some basic stuff, and then it's gonna be like, they're going to come out and say that they're like too scared to release it because they feel like they need more time, but Nintendo's forcing them to release it. And not that it's going to be bad, but I think that their expectations are really high for it and they want it to do really well, especially because Prime has been gone for so long. But Nintendo's like, we just got to get this game out before the next system. Like, it just has to come out. So they gave them that little bit of extra time. Prime Remastered came out. And the reason why they made Prime Remastered, because it was really easy to do. They already built the engine for Prime 4. They just used the same engine. And they released it to build hype around the Prime series, not necessarily the 2D ones, the Prime series, so that it's able to come out with a nice, smooth release. That's my prediction.
I think you're onto something. I'm like in between you. I think the game's gonna come out next summer, and then we'll have a day one like 4K upgrade or whatever for people that bought it going into the next system. I don't think Metroid Prime 4 is not a strong launch title for a system. It just does not have the following of hardcore audiences.
I think that, realistically speaking, I don't think it's going to sell, but I think it's going to be the only thing that they're going to have for launch.
I think they have Mario Kart and a 3D Mario.
I think it's 6 months. I think it's going to be way too soon for a new Mario Kart, but that's just me personally, and I'm not going to fight it on that.
We haven't had a Mario Kart game in 9 years.
We've had Mario Kart something. So they have
DLC, which does not take a lot of effort to
6 waves of DLC in a mobile game that is still going on and will probably still be continuing.
Nintendo doesn't really make the mobile game, though. They have their own mobile team. Those aren't the same teams.
I don't think it's realistic to see Mario Kart something back-to-back.
I don't think we're seeing it back-to-back. There's going to be a 12 to 18-month window where we have no Mario Kart. And
We've
they've
had
been
a
porting and
8-year
up-resing
gap between Mario Kart. We've had between Mario Kart 8
It's because
Deluxe.
Mario Kart's been selling so well. Why would you make a new Mario Kart when 60 million people are buying the one you
Why
made
would you
9
make a
years
new
ago?
Mario Kart when you just made more than a game as DLC?
They did not make more than a game. This is half-ass DLC. It looks nicer than it did in the beginning. But you have to remember, these are up-res ports of mobile
But
game
think
tracks.
about it. If
This did
Nintendo
not take a
stripped
ton of
all
time.
of the extra content away from a Mario Kart game, this is the core of a Mario Kart game. And some.
We're getting a live service Mario Kart in the net. I really think that's the first 6 months. We're starting out with 32 tracks, then like every few months we get a new cup or two.
Why do we always end up
for,
talking
like-
about the Switch Pro?
Because you and I have very different opinions about how it's going to be handled.
I just think that's way too unrealistic to think Mario Kart would happen so soon.
It's not, I'm not arguing with this. This is
All
not
right.
the time.
Any more wild cards from you?
Trying to think. What else could I see happen? You know what? Just to throw all caution to the wind,
Wind Waker
3D
also
Donkey Kong.
happens here as well. No.
3D Donkey Kong. We've been hearing about that for a while. I don't think it's happening. But you know what? Maybe it is. Maybe that's like their spring 2024 title. Maybe that's like the big 2024 game they show us.
Okay.
Because with their wording, they always go with, it's mostly focused on games launching in 2023. So you know there's at least going to be
a
couple.
one teaser for 2024.
And that could be Metroid, that could be Donkey Kong, it could be both. I really think we're getting some sort of Donkey... No, I don't think. I think it's possible, though, we see Donkey Kong tomorrow. I think...
I mean, it could be
We've been hearing
Mario,
about this game
Luigi,
for so
Donkey Kong, and
long.
Diddy Kong instead of Toad and Toad.
I think it's going to be Toad and Peach, or like Toadette and Peach, or something like that in the 2D game. So, I mean...
Rip Blue Toad.
We'll see. He's earned it.
He's in 3D World.
But-
He'll come back in 3D World too. It's okay.
But I'm hoping for a new Donkey Kong. I want a 2D one just because of how good Tropical Freeze was, but I don't think that's realistic right now.
Yeah. I just look at the time and I'm like, yeah, this will be quick. It's never quick, is it?
We spent 10 minutes on Mario Kart DLC, my friend.
It's not my fault.
Yes, it was. You kept going.
All right.
All right,
my last
that's all my stuff.
my last wild card is that if we don't get Mario RPG and we get FE, that again, I still want to. If we get FE, then I really want to stake the claim that we see something RPG related, and I think that is a remastered Mario and Luigi. That's a wild. It's the definition of a wild card. So
I'm gonna contradict you. I think if it's not Mario RPG, it's a 1,000-Year Door remaster.
well, I mean, it's still something Mario
So,
RPG.
yeah.
So
I mean, there's been rumors about that going on for a while. I don't know how true it is, but I think if we don't get Mario RPG, I could easily see them dipping their hand into that GameCube cookie jar and pulling out the most beloved Mario RPG in the franchise.
It's just like 1,000-Year Door is just like it doesn't need it. It like I mean, sure it needs it, but like
It needs it just so people can play it without pirating it.
yeah, but it's Paper Mario had its time on the Switch. Mario and Luigi is either dead and gone, or Nintendo doesn't know what to do with it, and I just want to see my bros.
It makes me sad. I think it's really dead and gone, at least for the next 5-10 years. And it makes me sad because those games were so quality, so consistently good.
They don't even need to make a new game. Just bring everything back and leave it at that. Let them die. Let them die a happy death at the very least.
They don't want to do that because bringing back the old ones is what killed Alpha Dream.
Okay. To be fair, that is not what happened.
Yes, it is.
No, it was Paper Mario's fault. I will fight you.
Stories.
If it was Paper Mario's fault, I will fight you to the death.
There was no Paper Mario.
Yes,
there
was.
There was no Paper Mario around those games.
Yes, there was. Because the reason why Paper Jam happened was because Paper Mario was at the height of its success. Not by fans, but by pure money. And so they were like, it's about time that they cross over. So why don't we cross over not the Mario Luigi series and the Paper Mario series, but Dream Team and Sticker Star. Boom, nobody bought it. see it. All right, let's remaster something they
But
do
that
like.
wasn't the problem. The problem was they had
It
Mario,
was the
Superstar
start of
Saga,
it was the
and
start
then
of the
5 months
decline.
later they announced Bowser's Inside Story coming out a year
No,
later.
no, listen, it was irrational because they released Paper Jam under the assumption it was going to do well. It was the beginning of the downturn. So they're like, all right, let's remaster something they do like. What makes the most sense to remaster? The Game Boy game that's not currently available on the 3DS. The one that made the most sense. So that was then it went down again because nobody needed the remaster. Then it went down
It came out
again.
after the Switch launched.
Yeah, okay, well, that was also a problem as well. It should have been on the Switch. But again, irrationally thinking, okay, fuck, they don't want to do that. How about the game that they really, really like, Inside Story? Again, before it was like, okay, it was kind of necessary because the Game Boy game is not on the 3DS. But now, it's not working. How about the game they really, really like, and then no sales? They're dead.
So what I'm hearing is they shot themselves in the foot with Paper Jam. They shot themselves in the stomach with Superstar Saga, and then they just aimed right for the head with Bowser's Inside Story.
They kept literally they did all that stuff because Paper Mario told them to. Paper Mario killed Alpha Dream as a whole. But it's not actually Paper Mario's fault, okay? It was the fact that they thought they could do something with the successful Paper Mario. And so yes,
it's the fact that they thought a remake of a game that you could already play on the DS via backwards compatibility 2 years after the Switch came out.
Yeah, but I
was
feel
a
like
good idea.
I feel like they wouldn't have done that if Paper Jam did well. If Paper Jam did well, we probably wouldn't have had a remake at all. We probably would have just had the next game.
Yeah, but
or maybe a better Paper Jam. Because guess what happened instead of having at Paper Jam 2? We got the fucking bunnies for some reason.
That has nothing to do with Alpha Dream.
Yeah, I know that, but I wanna bring my rage on that as well. Anyway, we're done. I'm done. Mario and Luigi just come back in some capacity, even if you have to have a happy death. I don't care. I just want to see you one more time.
You better hurry up and get this uploaded before the direct.
Oh, it takes me 2 seconds. I mean a little.
2 seconds. Okay.
I mean, well, again, it'll be more time consuming, but I also have to now go and find where I left, unless you entertained the audience while I was gone.
No, I just sat there and just like looked at my phone because I was being awkward.
I kind of want to find it now and just slowly zoom in on you. All right, we're done. I'm sorry.
All right, we are 9.5 hours away from the direct, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, this will go out probably around midnight. So
sounds good.
But yeah.
Tune in hopefully in the next day or so with our direct discussions. Hopefully it's a good one. We'll know soon enough.
Will you be home?
I am off tomorrow, so besides...
Okay, good. Yeah.
I think I'm gone from like 6 to 8 tomorrow evening, but after that I'm free.
Okay, so I'll be here in the morning. I'll be reacting, so if you want to hop in.
I will be at home. I will be comfy on my couch, and then right after the direct's over, I gotta take Austin to work.
Okay, well, I mean, if you want to be on the call, you don't have to be on camera, just if you want to be on the call.
We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling.
And scream at each other. All right. We're done. See you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.